is good, everybody? My Paper Moon fam. It's your boy, PaperSin, aka the Hokage of the village. Sitting in that loud. You feel me? But today of all days, today, I wanted to take a look at the I guess it's not an age-old question, but it's like a question. A modern day question. Okay, let me show you. Do women really have it harder? Yes, that's the question we're gonna take a look at. Okay, do women really have it harder in today's society? Um, my answer is no. My answer is that they have it easy as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Um, they just they just do what they do in order to get the Sims to do the Simpsons to do everything for them during like everything they want, pay their rent, fix their car. They get the Simpsons to do that. And right now, in my opinion, women are raging because men are waking up and like deciding to be like, no, fuck that. I'm not gonna do everything for you just because you're a woman and you want me to, and you ask me to. Like, fuck that. Like, I used to be that kind of simp. Like, pay a chick's rent just because she asked me to. Fuck that shit, bro. Hell no, never again. Like, I was terrible. I had to wake up, get on my grind, get on my shit, get, you know what I'm saying, become me, you know what I'm saying? And then continuous, like I had to, I'm still working on becoming the god that I'm supposed to be. But like right now, I'm just a demigod that I'm supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? But here, the video that we're gonna check out is by the YouTube channel titled Clarified Mind. Now, Clarified Mind likes to take AI, train it on one subject, and then train it on the opposite subject, and then have those AI debate each other, right? So since we're going to check out do it, excuse me, we're gonna check out, do women have it harder? Do women really have it harder? One side is going to be one side is going to be AI that has been trained on believing that yes, women have it harder. The other side is going to be trained on AI believing that no, men have it harder. So let's check out the debate. Let's see what goes on, and of course we're gonna put in our like 2 cents every now and then, because this is a reaction video. Enjoy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your boy is trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I'm like halfway there, but we got like 2 months to go. Fuck it, we ball. All right, so let's get it. Let's get into the video. As always, links to the video and links to the description will be in the comments below, or in the description below. Sorry, and don't forget to feel free to leave a comment to let us know, or let me know, what you think about it. Do women actually have it harder, or do men have it harder? Let me know right now before the debate starts, so I can know your thoughts before and after, because I'm pretty sure this is gonna be an interesting video. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. All right, let's get it.
We configured the most powerful AI models to create two characters, a feminist advocate and an anti-feminist. We put these two characters head-to-head in a debate to discuss the most important gender-related issues of today's world. We also asked 5 AI models to score the arguments as judges. The debate starts with this question.
Okay, so they also, yeah, that's another thing they do. They add 5 AI models to debate to judge the debate. And so like the AI models should be all neutral. You know what I'm saying? The ones that are judging, they should be all neutral. But real quick, we all have one AI on our phone, at least one AI, right? Because if you have an Android, like Google, like or whatever, Android like made you take Gemini. I installed Grok, so we're gonna ask Grok real quick. Go away. We're gonna ask Grok real quick. Do women really have it harder? And Grok says, hold on, let me full screen this shit right quick. Grok says the question of whether women really have it harder is complex and depends on context. No, it doesn't, Grok. No, it doesn't. What responsibilities? Not responsibilities, but what freedoms do men enjoy that women cannot? Nothing. However, with things like there are so many double standards when it comes to women. So with things like sex, it's just sex. Consent can be given at the time of the action of sex. However, women can take that shit back whenever they want. So you have sex one day, a month, 2, 3 months, 5 years later, you win the lottery. The woman you had sex with that one time decides, you know what? This man's got money now. Let me go ahead and sue him for grape and take some of that money that he just won. Easy example. But let's see. What? All right. The question of whether women really have it harder is complex and depends on context. Social, economic, cultural, and historical factors all play a role. Let's break it down. Oh my God. And first off, there is no that's a lot of shit to break down. I'm not going over all this. But first off, I know that there is no gender pay gap. Women, yes, I said that right. There is no gender pay gap. Otherwise, companies would just hire women instead of hiring men because they pay women less. That's not it. First off, women love to take more days off. I've seen it within my own reality, within my own world, within my own reality, whatever. I've seen it within my own experience. Women like to take more days off. Like, let's say there's a concert or something going on, or a birthday party or something quote unquote exciting that they want to attend. Women are more likely to take those days off other than men. Men will lock it the fuck in and be like, damn, I'm gonna miss little Jimmy's birthday party, but hey, I'm gonna miss my best friend's birthday party, but hey, I'm gonna miss this concert, but fucking hey, bro, I gotta get this money. You know what I'm saying? Women will be like, oh my God, I'm gonna miss the Chris Brown concert. I gotta take the day off, or I'm just not gonna show up. And they can fire me if they want, but I'm not gonna go in because I need to make this Chris Brown concert. You know what I'm saying? And so because of things like that, as well as when women get pregnant, they take time off. If they're on their period, they might want to take their time off just because they want to take their time off. And boom, that's it, right? So that there is no gender pay gap because women tend to take more time off, so they get paid less in the long run. When the check comes, they get paid less because they've taken so much time off. Now, this obviously is not all women, because some women will also lock the fuck in, but not all women. All right, let's get back to the debate.
Do we live in a patriarchal society?
That's a good question.
Men are killing themselves at 4 times.
Because women love to say, blame the patriarch. It's the patriarch's fault. It's a patriarchal society. We need a matriarch. Blame the patriarch. No. The quote unquote patriarch tends to foster to women, or tends to care more for women, like with child support or divorce. Women are more likely to get the children because the government says that women that kids need their mother. When the statistics show that if a child is in a single parent family, is raised by their mother, they're more likely to go to jail or get killed. if a child is raised by a single parent family by his dad, the statistics of him going to jail or getting killed are much lower. In fact, they are the exact same as if a child was raised by his parent, his both of parent, his mom and his dad. And it's all because that masculine figure, that masculine energy, that masculine figure, the dad, is in the household, which right now the government is trying to separate, or has been trying to separate, and has been successfully separating men from the household, creating single parent, single women, single moms, single parent families that are just moms raising a child, which raises weak men. And how does the saying go? Weak men create hard times. Hard times create strong men. Strong men create weak times. Because strong men make things easier, and so the easier things get, the weaker the times get. And right now, I believe we're at the strong men create weak times portion. Because right now, things are looking very weak. God damn, who's spamming me? But anyway, what was I gonna say? Right now, things are getting pretty weak because if you look at our society, we got a bunch of trans men, trans women, a bunch of not that there's anything wrong with all that, but everyone wants to act like everybody deserves this or everybody deserves that. When it's like, okay, but you have no respect for the country you live in. Like, let's say America keeps getting weaker because we have a bunch of weak people running around crying about the smallest little tiniest thing, and then we have all these other countries that are superpowers that are watching us, right? And then the weaker we get, the more they're like, okay, just wait for it. Because when the men in our military at the moment, when they get old enough to retire, who's gonna replace them? Yeah, there will be some men there, but there'll also be a lot of weak people there. You feel me? Especially with all the with all the lowering of the bar for women to get into the military service. You feel me? Or for trans women to get into the military service, or for trans men to get into, whatever it is. The lowering of the bar for these people to get into the military service. All these other superpowers are looking at us like, yeah, just wait for a while. Wait for the strong generation now that's there now. Wait for them to retire, and then we can go in and conquer that shit. Because if we have a bunch of people that complain about the smallest thing, you said my gender doesn't actually exist. Wah! China and other superpower countries are looking at Russia. Other superpower countries are looking at us like, it's only a matter of time. Troops, get ready. Wait for it. Okay, the strong men retired. Okay, their military is weak. Their country is weak. They have a bunch of people that are just crying about the smallest thing. They have a bunch of people crying about being misgendered. All right, let's go in. And then boom, what's gonna happen? We're gonna easily be taken over by one of these superpowers. You know what I'm saying? And then we're fucked. Then we're fucked. You thought, like, a lot of women thought they were oppressed now. Wait until like a country like China. Wait until a country like China takes over the U.S. Then women will really see oppression. You feel me? Or wait until another country takes over. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It's gonna happen in the long run if we don't do anything now. Back to the debate. Let me just stop rambling.
Times the rate of women.
Men are killing themselves at okay, what was it? What was the question? Do we live in a patriarchal society? No. In my opinion, no.
Men are killing themselves at 4 times the rate of women.
Mm-hmm.
They're falling behind in every level of education,
Mm-hmm.
from elementary through graduate school.
Mm-hmm.
Men make up 93% of workplace deaths.
They're falling behind in education because the education system is now is more catering towards women, and they don't let men or young boys be young boys. Like, boys are gonna roughhouse, boys are going to, you know, when compete with each other. But now schools and everything are that are starting to not allow that. They're not allowing boys to roughhouse, not allowing boys to like get that masculine energy out, or not just out, but like be masculine boys. They'll have them sit down and be quiet during class, and even during like recess and shit like that. Or I'm guessing they. I'm not gonna be. I won't be surprised if they eventually take footballs and basketballs and like dodgeball away from like the middle schools type shit. You know what I'm saying? It's too competitive. We need something more friendly, and so something that everybody can feel comfortable playing. I can see that shit happening, and that just de-escalate. You know what I'm saying? It just demoralizes the men, the boys that are that are trying to become men. They're catering more towards women, and so in school, yeah, people aren't going to college as much because men aren't going to college as much, and men aren't, caring about school as much anymore because it's like school doesn't allow them to just be boys or just be men. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, but when it comes to like the deaths and stuff, when women divorce their husbands and men go into these dark places and they know that nobody cares about their feelings, you know what I'm saying? They know that the government doesn't care about their feelings. They know that these women that don't care about their feelings, they have nobody to turn to, and women are just like pushing them to these corners. And as men, we're taught not to fight back against women. So when women push these men into corners, what's gonna happen? Men are just gonna like they're not gonna fight back. Some of them will, but some of them are just gonna be like, well, I'm not supposed to fight back against women, and I'm not supposed, and everything I do apparently is wrong. So let me just self-exit. It's a sad thing that happens, but it does happen. That's why men make up 93% deaths, especially workplace deaths. You cannot, bro. If you work with a woman, you could say hi, and if she does not find you attractive, she might report you to HR. It's that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, women are willing to do the worst kind of thing for whatever reason. I saw a video earlier today where a woman was caught on camera unknowingly confessing to accusing a man of a false rape charge because he made her mad. He made her angry. He like broke up with her or cheated on her or something like that, and she wanted revenge. And so she did a false rape charge, and he ended up going to prison. So men, even at work, when they're starting to not approach women at work anymore. You can look it up on TikTok or whatever you want. Women are complaining that men aren't approaching them even at work. So men are approaching women at work because it's so easy for women to just be like, oh, he did something with no proof, no evidence, and then boom, the hammer comes down on the men. Man gets punished for no reason. Self-delete.
80% of suicides and 70% of the homeless. If we lived in a male-dominated society that favored men, these numbers would be impossible. When a man loses his job, he's seen as a failure.
Mm-hmm.
When he can't provide, he's worthless.
And then his woman will get at him or leave him. Like, she'll either complain that he ain't shit and make him feel even worse and worse and worse until he just can't take it anymore and just self-deletes. Or she breaks up with him because, which I've seen videos of, he lost his job and he was down for a couple of months. But when he was down, I didn't want to pick anything up, so I left him. That's just me telling the whole story in short form. But women are not afraid That's another thing that we found out. Women are not afraid to leave a man and their children for their own sake, so that they can enjoy life. When, what was it? Men are willing to sacrifice their happiness for their family. Women are willing to sacrifice their family for their happiness.
Women get sympathy and support systems. Men get told to man up. The
Yep.
draft still exists,
Yep.
only for men.
Mhm.
Family courts award custody to mothers 80% of the time.
Bro, we need to start. Men. I'm talking to the men. It's probably the only people that are listening right now. Men, we need to start some shit where it's like, hey, if a woman does not want to be in her feminine, if she does not want to like cater to you, if she only wants to argue with you, if she doesn't want to like make sure that after you come home from fighting the world, if she doesn't want to make sure that you're okay from doing that, then tell that bitch to woman up, get into her feminine, and make sure I'm okay when I come home from battling the world. If she's not doing that, then tell her she's a failure. That's what we need to start doing as men. If you're not willing to like cater to me after I come home from fighting the harshness of the world, then woman up. You're a failure. Get the fuck out of my house. I'll find a better woman than you.
Men work the dangerous jobs that keep society running while being told they're privileged oppressors. This isn't patriarchy. It's male disposability.
We asked 5 AI models to evaluate both sides based on 7 criteria, giving each response a score from 0 to 10. Here are the scores the judges gave.
So hold on. So number 1 is statistically and factually accurate. Number 2 is logical reasoning and causation. Number 3 is real world context and practicality. Number 4 is perspective balance and bias recognition. Number 5 is solution viability and trade-offs. Number 6 is evidence, quality, and standards. Number 7 is ethical and value considerations.
Each response a score from 0 to 10.
That's the
Here are the
evaluation criteria.
scores the judges gave for the first response.
Average, 6.7. Total, 6.7.
Those male suicide rates? They're largely because men refuse to seek help, a direct result of toxic masculinity telling them emotions are weakness. Women attempt suicide more but use less lethal methods. Meanwhile, women earn 77 cents for every dollar men make, hold only 8% of fortune.
Is that true? Is that really true? 77 cents for every dollar? Again, I feel like if that was true, then companies would just hire all women, mostly women. I don't know if that's actually true. Hold on. Let me ask Grok. Grok, do women only make 77 cents on the dollar? The idea that women make 77 cents for every dollar a man earns is a widely cited statistic. But it's an oversimplification. Let's unpack it with the latest data and context. Oh shit. So the 77 cent figure. The 77 cent figure comes from older US Census Bureau data, comparing the median annual earnings of full-time, year-round working women to men. It's a raw, unadjusted average across all occupations and industries. And just like I said before, women, if they feel like I can't miss this Chris Brown concert, I gotta pay and I paid an extra $2,000 so I can take a picture with them. I have to go to this concert. I'm taking off or I'm not showing up and they can fire me. It's that kind of thing. Whereas men will be like, shit, man, there's this 50 Cent concert or whoever is, popular at the time. There's a 50 Cent concert going on tonight, but I gotta make this money. That's more important to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I was saying before. I feel like that's the difference. So why the gap exists? The unadjusted gap, 82 cents, quote unquote, or in the parentheses, doesn't account for factors like occupation segregation. Women are overrepresented in lower paying fields. Example, 88% of nurses, 70% of teachers, and underrepresented in high paying fields, 26% of tech workers. Okay, so I get it. Like most women are attending are choosing to be teachers or are choosing to be nurses, and those fields, even male nurses, don't get paid as much as they should because everybody has been saying that teachers need to get paid more. I haven't really heard of nurses needing to get paid more, but I can see it as somebody who has sickle cell anemia and who has been in the hospital countless times. I literally can't count how many times I've been in the hospital since I was a kid. But nurses work hard as fuck. So yes, I think nurses also deserve a pay raise, but that goes for nurses as female nurses and male nurses, all nurses. So women are opting into job fields that genuinely aren't respected as much as other fields and get paid, well, not as much as they should. Whether the gender in that field is male or female, they are both getting paid less than what they should be because the job that they're taking on is not as respected as other jobs. Does that make sense? Okay. Let's see what else. What I got? Intersectional differences. The gap varies by race and ethnicity. White women, 82 cents per dollar. Black women, 76 cents per dollar. Hispanic women, 70 cents per dollar. Asian women, 87 cents per dollar. And that's after everything else we just said. That's not just off the rip. That's not just, yeah. Listen, it doesn't say it is. Global perspective. Globally, the gap is wider. The World Economic Forum 2024 estimates women earn 68% of men's income on average, with larger gaps in countries with less gender equality. Read that one more time. Global, because I was not paying attention. I was reading it, but I wasn't paying attention. Globally, the gap is wider. The World Economic Forum estimates women earn 68% of income on average, less than men, or 68% of income with larger gaps in countries with less gender equality. Okay, conclusion. The 77 cents on the dollar figure is outdated and oversimplified. The current adjusted gap in the US is about 82 cents, but when adjusted for factors like occupation and hours, it's closer to 92 to 94 cents. Structural issues, example, occupational, segregation, caregiving responsibilities, having kids, and discrimination both contribute. If you want to dig into a specific industry or factor, let me know. That's what Grok says. So technically, the gender pay gap is false. It's only because women are choosing to go into occupations that are less they're less respected, and that way that means since those occupations that they go into are less respected, no matter what the gender that goes into that occupation that is less respected will earn less than they should. Just like teachers should earn more no matter what the gender, and just like nurses should earn more no matter what the gender. Both of those occupations are not as respected as other occupations in that same general occupation, just like nurses and nurses versus doctors kind of thing, or like teachers versus principal, maybe not principal, but whatever. Those occupations are not as respected. Therefore, those occupations, no matter what the gender, earn less than they should. Which means, trying to make sure you understand, which means, in my opinion, if a man goes into the nursing occupation and becomes a nurse, he will earn 97, 98% less than he should because of the respect for that occupation. Just like if there's a male teacher and a female teacher, both starting off at the same spot, will earn the same amount. Because that occupation is not as respected. Also because during times of pregnancy or sometimes a woman will just be like, I really want to see this Chris Brown concert, and will call out. Things like that are the factor of why women, quote unquote, earn less than men. Anyway, and also because men are more willing to go into like the dirtier job, like not just plumbing, but like sewer type shit. You know what I'm saying? You want to, if you jump into that pile of shit and do whatever needs to be done, I will pay you a lot of money. Men will be like, all right, bet, hand me the shovel, and I'll shovel that shit. Women will be like, I don't want to get my nails dirty, so no. Or they'll be like, I got this Chris Brown concert I gotta go to, so I want to go see Chris Brown. I also paid an extra $2,000 in advance off my credit card because I'm already in credit card debt, but I need more credit card debt just so I can get this Chris Brown picture. Women are more willing to do that kind of thing. Men will be like, shit, I gotta handle business. My family needs food on the table. I'm gonna take that shit. I'm gonna take that job. Let's go. I'm gonna shovel that shit. Just hand me the shovel. You know what I'm saying?
Fortune 500 CEO positions and make up just 27% of Congress despite being 51% of the population. Every day, 3 women are murdered by intimate partners.
Okay, but how many women are willing to go into Congress? How many women are willing to actually go into politics? Not a lot. Not a lot. That's on y'all's shit. You know what I'm saying? That's just like saying, hey, we need to pay women more for basketball sports, when basketball in general, the entire sport, across the entire field of gender, male and female, the payment is decided upon how many butts you can put in a seat. Now, women's basketball, there's just no butts in the seats. Not even women are wanting to go and watch women's basketball. That's on y'all. If y'all can get women to go pay attention to women's basketball, good shit. Then you'll start making more. But as of this moment, women's basketball is in debt. You know what I'm saying? If they actually made the payment equal, women's basketball, women would owe the basketball corporation, whatever it's called, they would owe money to the basketball. Men are at being entertaining when it comes to basketball. And from what I can tell, I don't really watch sports, but from what I can tell when I did my little research that I did, is that it's the height difference within the net. Women are genuinely more often shorter than men. So since the net for the men's basketball and the net for the women's basketball is the same height, women tend to not be able to do things like dunk on other women, whereas men, since they're genetically tend to be taller than women, they can dunk. Now, if the women's basketball would lower the net so that women can dunk on each other, then that would make the sport more exciting, which might put more butts in seats, which would definitely increase the wage at which the women get paid. However, women, whoever's in charge of women's sports, they're not willing to lower the goal of the basket so that women can start dunking. And that's why the game is not as exciting, because everybody's just taking shots. It's like, oh, another jumper, oh, a layup, another jumper, layup, jumper. That's it. The game is not as exciting. And since the game is not as exciting, women don't put butts in seats. And since they don't put butts in seats, they don't get paid as much as men. That's how that is, in my opinion.
You're pointing to symptoms of a system that hurts everyone while ignoring who actually holds institutional power. Men dominating dangerous jobs isn't oppression. It's because
Right.
women were historically barred from most careers, and the effects still linger today through social conditioning.
That's social conditioning from on the women's side. Like women are, especially if in the in like the job market, the corporate job market, the white collar job market, women are more likely to prevent other women from getting that promotion. You can look it up yourself. It's called the queen bee effect. Matter of fact, queen bee effect, job, whatever. Queen bee syndrome. Let me. Queen bee syndrome is a social phenomenon where women in positions of authority or power treat subordinate females worse than males. Let me read that one more time for y'all in the seeds. Women in positions of authority or power treat subordinate females, other women, in case you missed that shit, worse than males, purely based on gender. It was first defined by three researchers: Graham Staines, Carol Travis, which there's a woman in there too, and Toby E. Gervonta, whatever, in 1973. The term queen bee is often used derogatorily, and is applied to women who have achieved success in traditionally male-dominated fields. These women often take on masculine traits and distance themselves from other women in the workplace in order to succeed. By the way, that last part of women taking on masculine traits, that's why men don't like boss babes. Because as a boss babe, you have taken on those masculine traits in order to do what you need to do in order to run your company or run the position that you're in. And since you've taken on those masculine traits, a lot of women don't know how to turn off those masculine traits when they go back home to their man and just remain feminine. They keep those masculine traits going. And that's why men don't want to date a lot of boss babes. They're like, no, you're a boss babe. Fuck that shit. That if you own your own company, you have this, that, blah, blah, blah. You probably most likely have a bunch of masculine traits that go with that. And men don't want to date masculinity. Men are attracted to femininity. Okay, you get it? You probably don't get it. You're probably just yelling at me, even though I can't hear you, and everything I'm saying is correct, and I'm bringing up the facts and the data and shit like that. But whatever. Let's continue.
Average 7.1.
Yo, she got a better
7.1.
She got a better score.
That 77-cent statistic is garbage. It compares all women to all men without accounting for hours worked, career choices, or experience. Single, childless women in cities actually out-earn men. Women choose psychology and social work. Men choose engineering and finance. That's not discrimination. That's preference. And you're proving my point about male disposability. When men kill themselves more effectively, somehow that's their fault for not seeking help.
That is true. I've heard that these statistics when it comes to like self-deletion, women have the higher attempt rate but fail more. Men have the higher success rate but have a lower attempt rate, but they just have a higher success rate. Women will try more and fail and not try again. Men will just try, succeed, and run. You know what I'm saying? Not that is something to laugh at, because that's fucked up. Because for a man to reach the point that he wants to self delete, I've been to that level myself. And that shit is dark. I failed at my self deletion attempt, even though I tried like 5, 6, 7 times. I failed, but I kept trying. Women would fail and just not try anymore. Feel me?
Women get endless mental health resources, while male depression is ignored. 3 women murdered daily sounds horrific until you realize men are murdered at triple the rate overall. You're cherry-picking female victimhood while ignoring that men are the primary victims of violence. Period.
Do you know what I love most about these AI debates? Is that when someone's talking, nobody is trying to interrupt the other person. You can clearly hear the other person's argument before the next person talks. That's what I really love about these AI debates.
Average 7.2.
7.2.
Total
He's still behind.
13.9.
He's still behind.
You're missing why women choose lower paying fields, because we've been socialized from birth to be caregivers and nurturers while boys get pushed towards STEM. Those single women out-earning men only last until they have kids, then their careers tank while fathers get a daddy bonus in pay. And yes, men kill each other.
A daddy bonus? Is that true? What is a daddy bonus? I've never heard of daddy bonus. What is a daddy bonus? In the workplace. Fatherhood bonus. Fatherhood bonus or a fatherhood premium refers to the advantage that working fathers get in terms of pay and perceived competence in comparison with working mothers and childless men. Fatherhood bonus occurs due to the belief that fathers have greater work commitment, stability, and deservingness. Basically, what I read from that is that, let's say, because this was probably established long ago where the nuclear family, the quote unquote nuclear family was a thing, was more of a thing. Right now, women are happy being single mothers. But when the nuclear family was an actual thing and was actually like sought after, let's say both the man and the woman, the husband and the wife that were married, went to work, they eventually had a kid, the wife gets pregnant, she gets maternity leave, and she needs to stay behind and stay at home while she cares for herself and prepares for the pregnancy. Men are still going to work, but since they're going to have a kid, just like the woman, since she's going to have a kid, she gets maternity leave. I don't really know what encompasses that in general. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know the entire thing, but since the woman has to opt out of working for a while because she's pregnant, the man gets an extra bonus because, hey, you're gonna be a dad soon, and y'all need a way to take care of this kid. So she gets maternity leave, and he gets a quote unquote fatherhood bonus while he continues to go to work, and she gets the paternity leave while she stays out of work. But nowadays, you see, if things were still the same and the nuclear family was still a thing, and women weren't just trying to leave men all the time, and women weren't bent on becoming single mothers, or just, I can do bad all by myself, I'm an independent, strong woman, blah, 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 blah. If they weren't doing that, then things would still make sense. But since they're doing that, and the laws really haven't changed that much, the woman, yeah, she might get maternity leave or whatever, and the father might still get that fatherhood bonus. But since they're separated, there's no reason for the man to share that money with the woman. He can if he wants to. That woman might have already looked for another man to take care of her. You know what I'm saying? She might have already branched off, or she might have already been branched off, or she just might not want anything to do with that man for whatever reason. Doesn't matter. But that's what I'm thinking about that. I'm not sure if that's 100% true, but that's what comes to mind when I hear that. that men get the fatherhood bonus or the daddy bonus or whatever, and women. She didn't mention the women's paternity leave. She didn't mention that, but that's what I'm thinking. It's just because those laws were made a long time ago, where the nuclear family was more prevalent in the relationship or in society, and there were a lot less single mothers, and there were a lot more couples raising children together, because that would make it work. The man gets paid more for continuing to go to work, and the woman gets paid paternity leave for missing work because she's pregnant and raising. Excuse me, excuse me, and because she's pregnant and raising a kid. Those two factors would work together if the man and woman were still together, raising a child in a family by themselves. But right now, society is telling women to do everything by themselves, that they don't need a man. So this whole men get the fatherhood bonus and women get the paternity bonus, it does not work because women are not trying to stay with the father of the child.
More. But who's doing the killing? Other men. When women die, it's because the man who promised to love them decided to destroy them. That's not random street violence. That's intimate terrorism. You want to talk mental health? Women are twice as likely to be diagnosed with depression and anxiety, but we're told we're too emotional when we express it. Men's mental health.
Technically, in my opinion, like women are also the ones that are on the most medication. They're on the birth control, and they're on antidepressants higher than they have ever been. A mixture of those two has gotta fuck with somebody's mental, and so that's probably why they're more depressed than they've ever been, or whatever she said. Back it up. Yeah, diagnosed with depression and anxiety. That's because of both the birth control and the antidepressants that they're getting from everything. All the medication that they're taking is fucking with their mental.
Anxiety, but we're told we're too emotional when we express it.
Yeah.
Men's mental health matters, but don't pretend the solution is going backwards.
I'm glad that she said the men's mental health matters, because a lot of women, the AI chick will say, yeah, men's mental health matters, but women in general are more likely to say men's mental health, boo fucking who. That's what they're more willing to say about men's mental health. I mean, there's even a month that's become dedicated to men's mental health, and now there's a bunch of TikToks talking about it's Men's Mental Health Month. What's wrong with you? Go man up. Blah 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 blah. Fuck men's mental health. That's what they'll say on TikTok during Men's Mental Health Month. Because they don't give a shit about men and their mental health. But if men decided not to care about women's mental health, they would have an uproar. It would be all hell breaks loose. You feel me?
Average 7.2.
Oh,
Total
shit.
14.3.
Socialization. Women dominate universities and have every door open for them in STEM through scholarships and quotas, yet still choose other fields. In countries with the most gender equality like Norway, gender differences in career choice actually increase, not decrease. The daddy bonus happens because men work longer hours and take more responsibility after kids. Women.
I've also noticed in my own work life that men are more willing to take overtime if given than women. You know what I'm saying? Like a group of 5 men, 5 women, they both get offered overtime. 2, maybe 3 of the women will take the overtime, whereas 4 out of 5 of the men will take the overtime. You feel me? I've definitely seen it in my own workplace. Every time they offer overtime, there might be 1 or 2 chicks that take the overtime, but there's like a bunch of dudes that are like, yep, let's get this money. And we all dap each other up when we get there. Boom, boom, boom. Let's get this money. You ready? You ready? You going 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours? What you doing? What you doing? 4 hours? Me too, bro. If they offer 5 hours, I would take that shit. That kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? And the women are just like, oh, I'm only taking 1 hour or 2 hours of overtime. I'm leaving.
Women often choose flexibility over pay. You admit women are diagnosed with depression more, but somehow that proves men have it easier? Women get endless therapy, support groups, and societal sympathy. A depressed man gets told to shut up and provide. Male-on-male violence doesn't erase the fact that society treats men as expendable. When men die, It's Tuesday. When women die, it's a national crisis.
Average 7.4. Total 21.3.
Let's talk about who's actually creating these problems. Men.
0.3.
Let's talk about who's actually creating these problems. Men commit 96% of homicides, 87% of violent crimes, and 98% of sexual assaults.
True, but it's only a small percentage of men that actually do that. It's not every man. And I guess that brings into the reason why a lot of women would choose the bear over their man, even though they didn't know that. I'm guessing they didn't know that that's only a small percentage of men that would actually try to do something like that. Like most men, if you're stuck in the woods with them, they're gonna just be focused on trying to get the fuck out, trying to find safety, trying to find shelter, trying to do all this other shit. Not gonna worry about you. Matter of fact, they might not even want to deal with you because deal with a woman, because a woman would probably just make things harder and just complain the entire time while the man is just trying to figure shit out and trying to make shit work. I'm just saying, logic versus emotion when in a situation that involves being stuck in the woods. You don't know what else is out there in the woods. Could be other bears out there. You have to figure out how to protect yourself as well as how to protect the woman that you're with, I guess. If unless you're just like, man, fuck that bitch. If she dies, she dies. If the bear goes after her, if the bear starts chasing both of us, I only have to make sure that I run faster than her. You might run into one of those type of men that are gonna be like, yo, I'm not gonna fuck with you. But if a bear comes, I just have to make sure I run faster than you, bitch. And then you might run into one of those type of men. But the idea that men are going to try to harass the woman or take advantage of the woman just because they're stuck in the woods together, highly unlikely. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking like very highly unlikely.
The reason women's deaths make headlines isn't because society values us more.
Yes, it is.
It's because we're being systematically hunted by the people closest to us. A woman is more likely to be killed during pregnancy than die from pregnancy.
You're being systematically hunted by the people closest to you. The people closest to you are probably other women. Because of the whole girl code thing. I mean, and y'all don't like men anyway. You know what I'm saying? So y'all are already always together. And then there's like queen bee effect. So the people closest to you are going to be other women.
Pregnancy complications. When a woman tries to leave an abusive relationship, that's when she's most likely to die.
Call the cops. Ahead of time. That's it. Call the cops ahead of time. Hey, I got this abusive boyfriend. I need to leave the relationship. Today is the day that I'm choosing to leave their relationship. I would very much like it if y'all send some people over to help me out. Boom, donezo. It's over with. You can leave free. Make sure he doesn't find you. Make sure you're clear, all this shit. Make sure he can't track you, whatever like that. It's over with. You're done. And there's so many men that are willing to help you get out of that relationship. But there's also so many women that be in a toxic relationship and choose to stay in a toxic relationship because it's like, oh, it's fine, or I can change him, or it's just how he is. It's okay. Don't worry about it. All right, bitch.
Men aren't killing themselves because society doesn't care. They're killing themselves because toxic masculinity taught them violence is the only way to solve problems.
There is no such thing as toxic masculinity. There's no such thing as toxic masculinity. And men thinking that violence is the only way to solve their problems, there might be like 4% of men that do that, but most men, in my opinion, are going to choose a logical reason to solve their problems,
including their own pain.
Average 6.7. Total 21.0.
All right, come on,
You're
men.
doing exactly what feminists always do. Blame.
We're already ahead. That was her chance to catch up. And now she's already losing. What does this say? Blame everything on toxic masculinity. Ooh, let's get it.
Everything on toxic masculinity. Like it's some magic explanation. Men commit more violent crime because they're biologically more aggressive and take more risks. the same traits that built every bridge and skyscraper you use. But
At the same time, if a man gets into a confrontation with another man, both men know that there is a threat of violence. We're gonna be looking at each other like, yeah, I can take you. No matter what I gotta do. No matter what I gotta do. Which is why men are less likely to, like, you know what I'm saying? They're more likely to, like, think out the act before they actually go in. Like, if you have a confrontation with another man, and you might be like, all right, I can take him, but do I want to risk it? If I got this, and this, and this, and this that I've already committed to, maybe even a wife and kids, and I need to make sure I go back to them. And is this person willing? Is this person? Is this argument that I'm in with this other man worthy enough of me risking all of that? A lot of times they're gonna be like, no, and just try to, like, back it down. Sometimes, I'm not gonna say maybe like almost a lot of times, it might be 50-50% of the time, men might be like, you know what, ego, pride, let's get it, let's fight. If there's no such threat of death, maybe if it's just a threat of getting your ass whooped, they'll go for it.
But here's what's really happening. Feminism destroyed the social structures that channeled male energy productively. Marriage rates are plummeting. Birth rates are collapsing. Men are checking out of society entirely. Women are more medicated, more anxious, and more depressed than ever, despite having unlimited freedom. If feminism was supposed to make women happier, why are they popping antidepressants at record rates, while swiping through dating apps looking for commitment that never comes?
Average 6.8, total 28.1.
They both scored under a 7%, under a 7 this round, but right now the men have just overtaken the women in the debate.
You're confusing correlation with causation. Women aren't depressed because they have rights. They're depressed because they're still doing the majority of housework and childcare while also working full-time jobs. We call it the second shift. And those dating apps you mentioned? They're dominated by men seeking casual sex while women still want relationships. The hookup culture isn't what feminism fought for.
Who started the hookup? Who started the hookup culture? Feminists. Because they wanted to be sexually liberated. Men did not start the hookup culture. Feminists did. And the men said, I bet. And then the Chads and Tyrones of those men were like, oh yeah, I can take advantage of that. Because women are in nature hypergamous, so they always seek the better option. If the Chads and Tyrones are representing the better option, yet those guys at the same time are the fuckboys that don't want to commit. They'll just say, hey, let me get as much pussy as I can. They will do that. So the hookup culture was started by feminists, not by men. So I don't know why she brought that into the argument. The hookup culture was started by feminists, not by men.
It's what male-designed technology platforms optimized for. But let's talk about what really makes
male-designed technology platforms. You mean like birth control and shit like that? You might have that point. We did make birth control and women took advantage of that shit. Male birth control just doesn't work as much, or science hasn't found a way to make it work as well as female birth control. But birth control, women opted into it, took advantage of it. Men didn't tell them to. They say, hey, here's an option. And women were like, ooh, that option though. And they went for it.
Makes women's lives hell. Having our reproductive choices controlled by male politicians who've never experienced pregnancy, childbirth, or the economic reality of raising kids alone when men abandon their responsibilities.
Most men don't just abandon their responsibilities. Either they are focused by the police and therefore put in jail so that they can't perform their male responsibilities, just like in the Black communities, or the woman decides, hey, I don't need you, or you ain't shit, or I can do bad all by myself, or I can find somebody better than you. And they will choose that option to try to find somebody better than you. I was on a dating app once, and I saw this one chick, we ended up matching. Or we didn't match on the dating app, but her Snapchat was in her dating app. And so, or in her dating profile. So I hit up her Snapchat and I hit the like on the dating app. I hit her for Snapchat, hit her up from there. We started talking. And then she told me that she was pregnant, but that she did not want to be with the baby daddy. And me, being a squirrel that was just trying to get a nut, was like, okay, question. While you're pregnant, can I still hit? She said yes, until the turn comes. And the other question I asked was, what do you expect of me when it comes to this baby? She said nothing, because she didn't need anything from me. She was either gonna get everything from the baby daddy or just do everything herself. Of course, I didn't believe that bullshit. But the fact that I was able to ask, since you're pregnant, can I still hit? And she was like, yeah, we can still hit. You can still hit, and we can still be together. That shit made me laugh, bro. That shit made me laugh so fucking hard. Like, you are so desperate to find something, because now you're in a situation that you're willing to let anybody hit while you're pregnant, and you say that they're not gonna have to do anything when the baby comes. But let's be real, you're going to want them to start committing when the baby comes. I just thought that shit was so fucking funny. First off, I'm not about to be no stepdaddy. I ain't about to play a game on somebody else's saved data. No. And secondly, the fact that you're willing to let me hit while you are pregnant, it's kind of disgusting, bro. That's fucking disgusting. But anyway, let's get back to it.
Average 7.0. Total 28.0.
She pulling ahead?
Second shift, women choose jobs
she's
with
not.
flexible hours, while men work the overtime that actually pays the bills.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying earlier. I've seen that shit even in my job. Excuse me. When overtime is offered, more men are willing to take the overtime than women are. And overtime, need I remind you, overtime is usually time and a half. So let's say you're making $20 an hour. $20 an hour plus a half, time and a half, $30 an hour for overtime for those whatever hours you're working overtime for. Men are more willing to take overtime than women. Women are more willing to take days off for Chris Brown concerts than men. Oops.
The average man works 8.4 hours daily versus 7.8 for women. And you just proved my point about dating. Women want commitment, but spent decades telling men that marriage is oppression and casual sex is liberation. Now you're shocked.
How do they do that? How do women do that? Women want commitment, but spend so much time saying that commitment is oppression and casual sex is liberation. Like I said before, women started the movement of sexual liberation. Women in feminism started the movement of hookup culture. The hookup culture is only here because women were like, we're sexually liberated. We can have sex with anybody that we want. It's not there because Ben said women are liberated. We can fuck all the women we want. It's not there. Women hold the keys to the gate of sex. Men hold the keys to the gateway of relationships, commitment, and marriage. Right? How many women do you see proposing to a man and that man actually accepts the proposal? Very few. There are women that propose to men. It's very few in general, but when that proposal from a woman happens, men are more likely to say no. Men hold the keys to a relationship, while women hold the keys to just sex. So when the sexual liberation came, it was women saying, we're just unlocked. We don't have the keys. We lost the keys in our purse. I don't have the keys to keep my legs closed anymore because I lost in my purse. Everybody can get it. I am if they become the official world global tricycle. You know what I'm saying? The global bike. They go to Dubai, get shitted on, get pissed on, get fucked. Then they go back to America or whatever country they came from. Not get shitted on and pissed on. Unless they're in Japan, I guess, because that's a thing in Japan. But they also get fucked. They get passed around because sexual liberation is empowering. Okay, feminism. Okay, feminist.
That men adapt.
Yeah, I agree. A woman's sexual liberation is very empowering. As long as I get to hit. As long as I get to hit without a condom and with no worry of catching a disease and with no worry of her getting pregnant, then I agree that a woman's sexual liberation is indeed empowering. For me, because I get all the fun without any worry. I mean, she gets to have fun too, but for women, sex is different. They need an emotional connection. Men don't need that shit. And if a woman ever reaches the point that she doesn't need it, then she has mentally damaged herself. That's just how men come pre-built. Women come pre-built needing an emotional connection.
Adapted. Women on dating apps reject 95% of men,
Facts.
while the top 10% of guys get all the matches. Women created a sexual marketplace where average men are invisible, then complain about the consequences. You can't spend 50 years destroying the institutions that made men invest in families, then act surprised when they stop investing.
Average 6.5, total 34.6.
You could say he's ahead, but technically, I think he went first. So, yeah, there's not really anyone else ahead right now. But that last statement, what was that shit? Hold on, let's run it back.
You can't spend 50 years destroying the institutions that made men invest in families, then act surprised when they stop investing.
Like the sexual revolution. Women becoming sexually liberated and just deciding to sleep with every man and damning commitment while celebrating their sexual revolution and their ability to not commit. So since the ability or their want to have a man commit to them before they give them sex, since that was destroyed, men have no obligation to continue to invest into that. And since they don't have an obligation to invest into that, now women are mad because men don't want to commit. Bitch, what the fuck am I supposed to commit to? Your past of being a hoe, but now that you have 5 kids by 4 different baby daddies, now you're ready to settle down, and you want me to commit to you, and you want me to go above and beyond before I can actually get any? I'm gonna go ahead and say nah, fam. That ain't nah. I'm good on that.
Average 6.5, total 34.6.
You're rewriting history. Feminism didn't tell women that marriage was oppression. It told them they didn't have to stay in marriages where they got beaten or treated like servants.
I agree with that. Women should not be forced to stay in marriages where they're abused or treated like trash. I agree. However, women took that, and you know how the saying goes, give them an inch, they'll take a mile. Women took that and said, hey, even if you're the nice guy, that doesn't beat me, that doesn't hurt me, that gives me everything I want, that caters all to my needs, I should still have the right to divorce you because I'm bored. And men saw that shit happening. I was like, all right, well, fuck that. I'm not gonna risk losing all my shit. Just even if I treat a woman the best I can, do everything I can for her, just because she gets bored, or just because things are too secure in our relationship and there's not as much chaos as she would like, and she wants to leave me and take half my shit, I'm not gonna commit to that. There's no reason to.
The divorce rate spiked when women finally had legal and financial ways to escape bad marriages. And this sexual marketplace you're describing? Men created dating apps optimized for hookups, not relationships.
And women created the hookup culture, not the dating app.
Women didn't design Tinder to swipe through faces like a catalog. The top 10% of men you mention are getting matches because they're offering what these platforms reward: looks and casual sex. Women rejecting 95% of men.
Okay, if they're offering, if those top 10% of men are getting what the platform rewards, which is looks and casual sex, then that means all the women on the platform are opting in to those men's looks and casual sex instead of choosing to find a meaningful relationship that they can invest in and win in the long run. They're choosing to invest into these casual hookups and casual relationships where men don't care about them, will just have sex with them and then leave them. They're choosing that. Again, who started the sexual revolution of women's sexual liberation? Wasn't us men, but we damn sure will take advantage of it if we can. Because once again, men fuck who they can, women fuck who they want.
Men isn't female supremacy. It's women finally having standards after centuries of being told any husband was better than none.
Average,
Any husband is better than none after they've been ran through and have 5 kids by 4 different baby daddies.
6.6. Total, 34.6.
Standards or delusion? When 80% of
They're
women
even.
think they deserve the top 20% of men, that's not having standards. That's mathematical impossibility. Yes, women can leave bad marriages now, but they're also
And they
leaving
should.
good ones at unprecedented rates.
That's fucked up.
2/3 of divorces are initiated by women, often citing unhappiness rather than abuse.
In my opinion, excuse me. Excuse me. In my opinion, the following of women leaving good marriages and good relationships simply because whatever the fucked up reason that they come up with, or that they tell themselves, that's happening because of the rise of social media. You can see so many women on TikTok saying, doesn't matter if your man is good, if you're unhappy, then you should leave him, instead of working through the relationship and trying to fix any problems. It's more, if you're unhappy, it doesn't matter if he's good and treats you well and has never done this to you, never been mean to you, never hurt you, never harassed you, never done this to you. If you're unhappy for any reason, then you should leave him. And then women will be like, you know what? My man is a good man. He takes care of the kids. He does so much for me. He makes sure I'm good. He makes sure I'm this and he makes sure I'm that. But there's no chaos. There's no fun in the relationship. So I'm bored. I want to leave him. I want that chaos. I need that fun. I need to get back out into the streets. And then those women get back out into the streets, and then it's like, welcome, bitch. Welcome back to the streets. What did you expect to find here? Something good? You had something good. And even God is looking at you like, just shaking his head. Like, damn, I set you up with the best man I could find for you. And you left him because he was too good for you? Sheesh.
The result? 40% of children grow up without fathers,
Mm.
which correlates with every social pathology you can measure. Meanwhile, a generation of average men have given up entirely. They're not dating, not marrying, not even trying. You call it having standards. But when society tells the bottom 80% of men they're worthless, don't act shocked when they check out and leave you to run everything yourselves.
Mm. 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 That was good. I ain't gonna lie, that was good. That one was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Average, 6.5. Total, 41.1.
So your solution is to go back to when women had to accept any man who'd have them?
No.
Those good marriages women are leaving often involved men who did nothing around the house, showed no emotional
Nothing around the house, but they probably went to work all day plus overtime in order to get that money to provide for their family. Working 16, 18, 19, 20-hour days and coming back home, getting very little sleep and going back the next day doing the same damn thing. But since they're not spending as much time with you, you get mad because they're not spending as much time with you and they're not doing as much things with you. But they are doing what they can to provide for the house, provide for the household, and put a nice ass roof over your head, if at least any type of roof over your head. And they're working as hard as they can so that they can continue to provide for you. So yes, forgive them for coming home dead tired and not doing anything around the household. What were you doing the entire time? Did you also work and did you also come home dead tired and not doing anything around the household? That's fine. On both of y'all's day off, somebody clean the bedrooms and the other person clean the kitchen, then the living room, whatever. But if you're staying home the entire fucking time and you're just mad because he comes home and wants to go eat and go to sleep so he can prepare for the next day, that's your fault. Like either acknowledge that he's working hard so he can provide, or pick up a job, bitch, and make some money to help provide in the house. Or you might already have a job, but your mentality, bitch, is my money is my money and his money is our money. Therefore, you're not providing for help with any of the bills or anything else that any maintenance or anything else that the house needs. You're telling him to go work more overtime so that he can cover it while your money is still your money. Fuck out of here.
support and treated their wives like live-in housekeepers. If men are checking out because women finally have choices, that tells me everything about what kind of partners they were offering. A quality man doesn't become worthless just because women can say no. The men
Yes,
who
it
are
does.
thriving in modern dating are the ones who developed actual personalities, emotional intelligence, and life skills beyond just having a paycheck.
You mean the Chaz and Tyrones? The ones that are great at like faking that shit? I'm not gonna lie. I'm not Tyrone yet, but I'm Tyron. Feel me? I'm missing one more letter. Like, I'm at that point where I can do that shit if I want to, because I used to be the good guy. I used to be the good guy, but I got fucked over so many fucking times dealing with these fucking bitches. It made me want to red pill rage, but I didn't. I just decided to step back, look at everything that's going on, try to understand everything that's going on, because unlike most women, men are pretty much born innate with emotional intelligence. Because if you actually look it up, emotional, damn it, no, I'm just kidding. Emotional damage. All right, emotional intelligence definition. Intelligence regarding the emotions, especially the ability in the ability to monitor one's own emotions, the ability, capacity, or skill to perceive, assess, and manage the emotions of oneself, of others, and of groups. Which means, yeah, you might see some shit, you might get pissed off, but you don't act on it because you're able to understand why you're pissed off, and you're able to regulate that shit and just able to maintain that shit and just be like, I'm pissed, but I'm not gonna act on it. Whereas women are more likely to act on their emotions. Women are less likely to have emotional intelligence, but they're more likely to say you need emotional intelligence. You feel me?
If 80% of men can't compete when women have standards, maybe the problem isn't women's expectations. Maybe it's that mediocre men are finally being exposed.
Mediocre is what? Medium in the middle, right? Okay, fine, fine. So you're telling me that women are continuing to raise their expectations of men, which is why those expectations become dumb, which is why those expectations become unimaginable, which is why a woman will say a man needs to do this, this, and this, and this, because that's the quote unquote bare minimum, right? When women all around have not established what a bare minimum actually is. They'll say you need to do the utmost for them. They'll say that if you want to take them out on a date, you have to pay their bills just so you can take them out on a date, and that is the bare minimum. Bitch, are you serious? Fuck out of here. Men, if you take her out on her date, she does not give you at least any top. If she that's the bare minimum. Bare minimum. If you take her out on a date and you pay for everything, the bare minimum she could do is give you some head. How do you feel if I say that?
Average 7.6. Total 42.2.
Emotional intelligence is just feminist code for making men act like women.
Facts.
You want men to be sensitive listeners who share feelings.
But at the same time, no, I think he's wrong with that part. He might be right with women wanting men to be sensitive listeners who share their feelings. But emotional intelligence, as we just saw the definition for, is being able to basically maintain and control your emotions and understand where those emotions are coming from, instead of just completely acting on those emotions as soon as they hit.
But you also want them to be confident leaders who take charge. You want them emotionally available, but not needy, ambitious, but not absent, strong, but not aggressive. These aren't standards. They're contradictory demands that change based on your mood. Meanwhile, the mediocre men you're dismissing are the ones fixing your plumbing, delivering your packages, and keeping the lights on. Society doesn't run on the top 20% of charismatic guys. It runs on ordinary men doing ordinary work. When you tell the majority of men they're worthless unless they become perfect specimens, don't be surprised when infrastructure starts falling apart.
That was good. That was good. Yeah, I don't know. I already said what I disagreed with, but everything else I pretty much agree with it on. And I'm trying to look at this from both sides. I am. But it's hard as a man. Maybe it's because I'm a man myself. And I just like I see what he's saying. I've been through a lot of the shit that he's talking about, that they are talking about. So maybe for me, it's just kind of like.
Average 7.4. Total 48.5.
I'm probably able to more understand what he's
You're
saying.
creating a false choice. Emotional intelligence isn't acting like women. It's basic human skills that help in every area of life, including leadership and relationships. The military teaches emotional regulation because it makes better soldiers. Successful CEOs have high emotional intelligence because it makes them, including leadership and relationships. It's basic creating a false choice. Emotional intelligence isn't acting like women. It's basic
I
human
agree.
skills that help in every area of life,
I agree.
including leadership and relationships.
I agree.
The military teaches emotional regulation because it makes better soldiers.
Mhm.
Successful CEOs have high emotional intelligence because it makes them better leaders.
Okay.
And let's talk about contradictory
Men in my opinion, men in general have more emotional intelligence than women. Which gender is more likely to fly out to act on their emotions? Which gender is more likely to act on their emotions versus understanding them?
expectations. Women have been told to be pure but sexy, ambitious but not threatening, independent but not intimidating, maternal but not boring for centuries. At least men's contradictory
Wait.
expectations about
My fucking uh cleaning robot drone behind me decided to start speaking when I was trying to listen to what she was saying. Because it's like voice activated sometimes, and so I just heard me talking something, and I don't know what the fuck it. I don't know what activated it. I don't know how to turn that off. I gotta figure it out.
contradictory expectations. Women have been told to be pure but sexy, ambitious but not threatening,
I guess pure but sexy. We do want that, but at the same time, I don't see men as the one pushing it, as the one pushing that the most, pushing that ideology as most, because women are more likely to judge other women harsher than men will say anything about a woman. You know what I'm saying? Even when it comes to things like makeup, men are like, yo, you don't fucking really need makeup, but women will judge other women based off their looks harsher than a man will.
independent but not intimidating, maternal but not boring for centuries. At least men's contradictory expectations come with economic power and social respect.
I don't see how being maternal can lead to being boring. And also, do obviously I've never been in that situation because I don't have any kids, but do men actively want women to be exciting while they're maternal, while they're going through like a maternal like pregnancy? Do men want their woman to still be exciting and lustful and all this and that? I don't know because I've never been in that position, but I can see them wanting their woman to be more lustful still, but I don't know what would make a man think a woman was boring just because she was pregnant. Like I get maybe she doesn't want to go out as much anymore. Maybe like an extroverted man will be like, "We gotta go out every single day, even if you're pregnant." I don't know. That's kind of fucked up if he thinks that. So if that kind of thing is true, that's fucked up. But as me as an introvert, if she's maternal, her being quote unquote boring is not something that I would think about. Like I would probably still be the one that she thinks was boring.
When women don't meet impossible standards, we're called failures. When men don't meet them, they blame feminism and check out of society entirely.
I don't agree with that part. If women don't meet impossible standards, other women are more likely to criticize them. Maybe men will be like, well, shit, you can't do this and that. I'll probably understand. But I don't think men would criticize women for meeting impossible standards. I think women are the ones more likely to criticize men for meeting the impossible standards that women place on men. Like women will want you to be able to work 16 hours a day, yet still make 10 hours open in that same day for you to spend time with her, which is literally impossible.
Average 6.9, total 49.1.
You completely ignored my point about ordinary men keeping society running because you can't defend it. What happens when they quit? Japan and South Korea are finding out. Collapsing birth rates, economic stagnation, entire industries struggling to find workers.
That's also happening here. Our birth rate is also slowing, but maybe not as much as other countries. Our birth rate is definitely slowing, and the economy is definitely beginning to stagnate. I'm trying to think though. Uh, Collapsing birth rates in places like Japan, is obviously it's completely different reasons for a place for like America, because like in Japan, like men are working like constantly, like everybody's working like constantly, and then even after you get off work, you're expected to go out drinking with your boss. Like the work culture in Japan in general is like completely shit. It's terrible. I ain't gonna lie. And I like Japan. I want to visit Japan. I probably want to buy a place out in Japan somewhere. But I don't want to like enter the work culture while I'm there. You know what I'm saying?
In the U.S., we're already seeing it. Construction, trucking, manufacturing, all facing massive worker shortages. But instead of asking why men are checking out, We double down on telling boys from kindergarten that their natural energy and competitiveness are toxic.
That's what I was talking about before in the beginning. That even in schools, men or boys aren't allowed to be boys. They're more told to like sit down, shut the fuck up, don't move around, don't do this, don't do that. Their natural male energy, the natural need is highly suppressed and catered to. Its schools are more catered to women now instead.
Boys are failing at every level of education, being drugged into compliance, and graduating less likely to attend college than girls. We've spent 30 years treating masculinity like a disease, then wonder why we're running out of men willing to build the world.
Mm.
Average 7.4, total 55.9.
You're blaming feminism for economic trends that have nothing to do with women's rights. Japan and South Korea's problems stem.
You're blaming feminism for economic trends that have nothing to do with women's rights. Okay. I just need to make sure I understood that and like absorb that.
Economic trends that have nothing to do with women's rights. Japan and South Korea's problems stem from overwork culture, economic
Yep.
stagnation, and impossible housing costs,
Mm.
not women having careers.
Mm.
American worker shortages in construction and trucking exist because those jobs offer terrible pay, no benefits, and destroy your body by age 50.
Mm.
Men aren't avoiding these careers because feminism hurt their feelings. They're avoiding them because better opportunities exist. As for
I don't know. 'Cause a lot of men are still willing to take that shit. They're like, hey, whatever I do to support my family.
boys in education, maybe the problem isn't that we're drugging masculinity,
You
but
are.
that our schools were designed for an industrial economy that no longer exists. Boys aren't failing because teachers hate
What?
masculine industrial economy.
But that our schools were designed for an industrial economy that no longer. Maybe the industrial economy doesn't exist, but the need of employees that are willing to make it to work a 9 to 5 still exists. Like I'm working on a video for my second YouTube channel. It's gonna be like about a 9 to 5. There's this saying that I have because like schools and like when we were in high schools and things like that, they never taught us about money and financial benefits, how to manage money, how to balance a checkbook, things like that. Schools didn't teach us that. However, comma, what my quote is that public schools are only meant to breed 9 to 5 workers. So you get what you pay for. Public schools are only meant to breed 9 to 5 workers. That's my entire quote. And that's why schools, even though right now they're not, it's not designed for industrial economy. Schools are designed to brainwash. I guess is a decent phrase to use. Brainwash or brainwash children, kids that are meant for 9 to 5, or making them feel like they're meant for 9 to 5 works. You know what I'm saying? Like when the bell rings, you go to lunch. When the bell rings, you go to recess. When the bell rings, you go back to class, whatever. Just like in work, where it's like, hey, a bell might ring or a timer might go off, or maybe just, oh, it's that time I need to go to lunch. Or it's that time I can finally have a break. Or it's that time, you know what I'm saying? So public schooling is only meant to breed 9 to 5 workers, in my opinion. And so that just goes for everybody.
That no longer exists. Boys aren't failing because teachers hate masculinity. They're failing because sitting still for 8 hours and memorizing facts doesn't work for anyone anymore.
If it doesn't work for anyone anymore, then why aren't women failing just as much as men, just as much as boys?
Average 7.2, total 56.3.
If schools don't work for anyone anymore, why are girls thriving while boys crash and burn? Girls now make up 60% of college students, 70% of high school valedictorians, and outperform boys in reading by margins equivalent to a full year of learning.
Same thing. I didn't say the same thing I just said, but I literally just said if schools are failing for everyone, then why are women still? Why aren't women suffering as much as men when it comes to the failing of schools? It's not. They are not.
Boys are twice as likely to be diagnosed with learning disabilities,
Mm.
3 times more likely to be suspended, and represent 80% of high school dropouts. This isn't about industrial design.
And also, according to one of the rapper's song, Joyner Lucas, called, which is like ADHD with featuring Logic, um, boys are more likely to be told, "Hey, you just have ADHD. Stop. Just like calm the fuck down. Take this Ritalin. Sit in the classroom. Shut the fuck up, and just don't do anything." Whereas women don't have all that energy that a boy will have, that he needs to, get out and explore and do things with.
It's about actively suppressing everything that makes boys, boys. We eliminated recess, criminalized roughhousing, and turned
Wait, I didn't. Did we really take out recess? I didn't know that. When I was a kid, I had recess. Did you? Did you? Did you know that they took out recess? Did they really take out recess?
normal boy behavior into disorders requiring medication. Girls sit still and follow directions better. So we rebuilt education around that model
Mm,
and called boys defective when they couldn't adapt.
mm. Facts.
Average
This is what I heard.
7.7. Total 63.6.
You're right that boys are struggling in schools, but you're wrong about the cause. Those education policies you're blaming on feminists, they were implemented by male superintendents, male principals, and male politicians.
Yeah, I can see
Zero
that.
tolerance policies came from tough on crime mentality, not feminist ideology. The real problem is that we've never taught boys emotional regulation or conflict resolution. We just told them to suppress everything until they explode.
So you admit that's the real problem because in the end that it pertains to boys. Women didn't have to deal with that problem.
Instead of blaming teachers for medicating disruptive behavior, maybe ask why boys are more disruptive. Girls aren't naturally better students. They're socialized from birth to be compliant and people-pleasing.
No. Because most girls are raised by single moms these days, and so they're not socialized, especially by the single mom. They're not socialized from birth to be compliant and people pleasing. They're more socialized to be like, fuck men. I can do bad all by myself. That's how it is in these days.
The education system is broken for everyone, but at least girls aren't shooting up schools when they can't handle the pressure.
They're the ones that like to cause the pressure. They're the ones that will instead go and get another boy to shoot up the school instead for them. Besides, like, have you seen a girl, like a actual young girl trying outside of a movie like Kick Ass? Have you seen a young girl just be sitting there shooting, like practicing shooting, or willing to pick up a gun?
Average 6.3. Total 62.6.
Did you just dismiss boys' educational collapse by saying at least they don't shoot up schools? That's exactly the callous attitude I'm talking about. Boys are struggling, falling behind, and checking out of society, and your response is basically shut up before you become violent. Those
What the
male
fuck?
administrators you mentioned, they implemented feminist ideas about eliminating competition, pathologizing aggression, and treating traditional masculinity as inherently problematic. The entire educational establishment embraced the notion that boys needed to be fixed to act more like girls. And guess what happens when you systematically fail an entire generation of boys? You get exactly the social problems you just mentioned. Isolated, angry young men with no stake in society's success.
Average 6.6. Total 70.
I mean, again, like I can fuck with what he's saying. I can fuck. I was also just lost in thought because I was thinking about how bullshit this entire society is at the moment, and how I wish we'd hurry up and get over this hump that we can. Because I know shit like this has to happen, before society moves to a generation, or before society levels up to an area that we're supposed to be in, that we should be in, that's beneficial for everybody. So I just wish like this type of shit would hurry up and get through, so that we can move forward to a better society. But it's still gonna take some time. I mean, I know women do have it difficult in our society, but as far as harder goes, no. And they'd never address like the legal things, like when it comes to a woman having a baby and putting the man on child support kind of things. You know what I'm saying? They never addressed how the court tends to favor women in any type of spousal confrontation, not confrontation, but spousal argument. So that's just me. But I don't know, man. What do you think? Do you think that women have it easier or harder than men? Let me know in the comments below. And as far as that goes, as always, links to the channel, links to the video that we just watched will both be in the description below. Be sure to check them out. Peace.